Hi, everybody. It's Miss Christine. I have another book to read with you. This one is A Surprise for Mom by Jim Henson's The Dinosaur Train. Buddy loved playing games with his brother and sisters. Today, they were playing Follow the Leader. Shiny was the leader. Let's hop, Shiny said, and she set off hopping. Everyone followed her. This is fun. I love hopping, said Don. Don closed his eyes and kept on jumping. Hop, hop, hop. Dawn hopped right past Shiny. Shiny opened her eyes and saw Dawn in front of her. Dawn, we're done hopping. We're twirling now, she said. Buddy and Shiny began to twirl. Buddy, watch out, Tiny shouted as Buddy twirled closer to the nest. You almost stepped on Mom's flowers. That reminds me, you wanted to look for flowers for Mom today, Buddy said to Tiny. Yeah, today's Mom's special day, said Tiny. We're going to give her the day off. Ooh, a day off for Mom, said Don. Let's get her a special present. What a great idea, Don. Why don't we go to the big pond, said Mr. Petrodon. Just then, Mrs. Petrodon flew back to the nest. Guess what, Mom, said Tiny. Dad's taking us to the big pond. You get the day off. A day off, squawked Miss Petrodon. That sounds so relaxing. I'm going to take a nap on the warm rocks. Have fun, kids. Mr. Petrodon took the kids and flew off to the dinosaur train. Greetings, Petrodon family. Where are you off to today? Asked Mr. Conductor. Don and Shiny held up their tickets. We're going to the big pond, said Shiny. We're going to find a special present for Mom, said Tiny. What a great idea, said Mr. Conductor. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for at the next stop. Big pond. Mr. Petrodon and the kids got off the train and walked up to the big pond. Look, Buddy, said Tiny. Flowers. I bet Mom would like some big red ones. Ooh, shiny shells, said Shiny. I'll make Mom a crown of the shiniest shells I can find. And one for me, too. Don flew up to the ledge. I'm going to catch the biggest fish in the pond. I'll help you, Don. I can be your spotter, said Mr. Petrodon. Let's catch some fish. Look, Dad, a big splash, said Don. You know what that means, Mr. Petrodon said. A big fish. Don and Mr. Petrodon dove into the water to catch the big fish, but all they caught was a very small fish. While Mr. Petrodon dropped the fish on the shore, Don dove back into the water. Suddenly, Mr. Petrodon heard a squawk. He looked up and saw Don carrying a huge fish. Way to go, Don, he shouted. Meanwhile, Shiny began separating her shells. One pile for shiny shells, one pile for shinier shells, and one pile for super shiny shells, she said. Just then, Shiny spotted a new shell. You are super shiny, said Shiny. Looked around. Yep, I need a new pile. In the woods, Buddy and Tiny saw a bee. Buddy, said Tiny, bees love flowers. Let's follow him. The bee flew off into a patch of pink flowers. These are nice, said Buddy, but not quite right. Come on, bee, help us find some big red flowers. Buddy and Tiny chased after the bee. It led them straight to a field of big red flowers. These are perfect, said Tiny as they chose some. Let's go show everyone else. Buddy and Tiny raced back to the big pond. Everyone was waiting for them. Come on, Team Petrodon, said Mr. Petrodon. Let's get these presents back to the dinosaur train. That night, back at the nest, the kids gave Mrs. Petrodon her gifts. I made you a crown of the shiniest shells, said Shiny. And I got you a big fish, said Don. And we found some big red flowers for your garden, shouted Buddy and Tiny. Wow, these are such thoughtful gifts, said Mrs. Petrodon. I am the luckiest mom in the whole world. I hope you had fun.